Hi, this is Chrissy Jones with OklahomaHomeschoolArt.com. Today we're going to learn how to create a daffodil using cold coffee, a piece of white paper, and a pencil. You won't even need a paintbrush. So gather your things and let's meet together at the art desk. Okay, the first thing we're going to want to do is create our paint. You'll just need a cup of cold coffee. If your parents are willing, brew it very strong so it's a nice dark color. Go ahead and pour some in your first jar, and that's going to be your darkest dark. Add some to the second jar and to the third. Now leave the first jar alone. We want that to just be pure dark coffee. In the second jar, add a little bit of water. That's going to be your mid-tone. And then in this one, add a lot of water. That's going to be your lightest light. We're going to use these to paint our daffodil. Go ahead and set those aside and get a white sheet of paper. Okay, so I've taken some printer paper right out of my printer, and I've just grabbed a normal everyday number 2 pencil, and I'm going to draw a daffodil. And I'm going to start by kind of coming over toward the left side, and I'm going to just kind of draw a free-flowing kind of amoeba shape. That'll become the center of my flower. And I'm going to kind of leave it open on this side. And there I'm going to go over to the edge and kind of draw a curl that dips down and back up again. And then I'm going to draw a sideways letter U. And now I'm going to make the little spores in the center. And if you've ever done puffy letters before, it's a little like drawing puffy letter T's. I'm going to draw a couple of those puffy letter T's there. And now I'm going to add the petals. These are just kind of a basic leaf shape. And I think I'm going to add maybe 4 of those. I'm going to take them off in different directions to make it interesting. And now I'm going to draw a stem, 2 lines flowing down. And now I want to make the leaves. So I'm going to draw long flowing shapes on both sides. Let's see, I'll take for that one there. And I want to make it look like the leaf is kind of bent and folded over. So to do that, I'm going to draw a line right here. And that can make it look like the leaf is kind of turned over on itself. In fact, I'm going to change the angle on that just a bit to really look like I've kind of got I'm looking at both the top side of the leaf and the underside of the leaf there. Okay, now let's go get our coffee paints, and we're going to paint this using our pencil. Okay, so I've brought in my 3 paints. I've got my strongest coffee at the top, my darkest color. I've got my middle color here that had equal parts water and coffee. And then I've got a very weak coffee here that has a lot of water in it. That's going to be my lightest color. I'm going to set down a couple pieces of paper there and put my daffodil nearby because I want to create a little swatch. I'm going to get my pencil, and the pencil, I don't want to draw with it. I just want to use it to kind of carry the paint. So I'm going to kind of paint with it there. I'm going to go into the next color and paint with it there. And I'm going to go into my lightest one and paint there. Kind of carry that out. Okay, and so hopefully I've got something that's darker, middle, and lighter. And I think what I'm going to start with my lightest one. I'm just going to kind of finger paint a bit. I'm going to go and kind of gently kind of add some into the background. And I'm just staining the paper in the back. Playing along in the negative space. The negative space is the part that's not your subject. So all the area around the daffodil, I'm going to find areas that I want to take that coffee with my finger, just kind of splash it around. Now I'm not splashing a whole lot because the paper's weak and thin, and I don't really want to cause the paper to tear by soaking it too wet. So this is just a light amount on my fingertips, here and there. Now I'm noticing I drew the daffodil very, very darkly on the paper with the pencil because I wanted to be sure you could see it. But when you draw, keep a lighter hand. You won't want to have it that dark because you'll want the coffee to tell the story. Okay, so I put quite a bit over there. I'm going to go into my mid-tone, that middle one. It's not the darkest, but it's a little darker. And I'm going to add some over here. And maybe add some there in between. And maybe some under here. Just to have a few extra tones there to make it interesting. Okay. Now, what I want to work with now is the darkest one. And I'm going to dip I'm going to dip my pencil in that one. And I'm going to try not to draw with the pencil. I'm just going to try to touch down and tap in my coffee paint. I'm going to make it dark there, and I think I'm going to make the spores dark in there. Oh, I kind of like that. I think the next thing I want to do, I want to make that stem dark. So I'm going to go along, I'm dragging this with my paint, or dragging the coffee paint with my pencil. To make sure it goes mostly where I want it to go. I'm not going to get too particular about it being perfect today. I really just want to have a little fun. See what it's like to play this way. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my paint, or my pencil, to spread the coffee paint as I begin to kind of trace the outline over here of the leaf as it curls over. So again, the pencil is acting like a paintbrush, and I'm usually using it just to kind of pull paint where I'm hoping it will go. If things don't turn out quite the way I hope, I'm going to try not to get upset about that at all. I'm just going to try to play here. And I'm going to trace this leaf here, this side of the leaf, down. I love the way this smells. That is so much fun to have coffee smell while I'm doing paint. Now there under the leaf is where I would imagine there'd be a bit of shadow as the covering leaf hides the sun below. So I'm going to kind of spread that down and let that affect the leaf a little bit. Make that kind of shadowed. And dip my finger just a little bit there. And I'm just going to brush that lightly there. So now I've got that leaf. And now I want to go over here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trace the edges of that leaf using the darkest pure coffee paint. Letting it kind of lightly and gently pull along. Oh, it's not working. But I'm going to be patient with this. I'm going to wait until it picks up a drop or two. Just the way I want it. There it goes. And can carry that in. It's kind of fun to scooch that coffee paint around. There we go. Do a little more at the top. There we go. There. Oh, that's moving nicely now. There's kind of an unsharpened edge over there that's a bit dull, and that's really the best. I found that's the best place it's moving. So you're gonna have to find the place on your pencil that really moves well. I'm gonna continue what I'm doing now and define the leaves. There we go. Work on all of those. Oh, there's a line there I don't want. I'm going to erase that while it's still dry. And one more leaf there. There we go. Okay, so now all that's left is the center of the flower. So I'm going to go back in and begin to define that. Oh, you can hear Miles. Miles the art dog started barking. And now I want to get that little cup U shaped there. Try to pull that together. There we go. And now I think I want to put in a little texture here. And I'm going to go pretty lightly on that. I don't think I'd do that again next time, but I'm going to even things out a little over here. There we go. Okay, so that is my coffee daffodil. Come back. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to have you do a coffee cup, and we're going to paint the coffee cup using our coffee paints. So don't throw those away, just stick them in the fridge, and we'll play again tomorrow. All right, you all have a lovely day. Bye-bye.